Welcome to Around the World in 40 Tales. My name is Doreen Vanderstoep, and I am here today with Storytelling Alberta member Karen Gummo. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Doreen. I'm so lucky to be with you again.
Well, I am thrilled that you're back here again because you have really helped out today because somebody who was supposed to do today was unable to and had to postpone. And so I am eternally grateful for you for stepping forward and gifting another story to us. So thank you for that.
Well, I have to honor both sets of grandparents, so I'm taking care of that now.
Nice. We are so happy that you're doing a story today from Iceland called How the Hidden People Came to Be. Looking forward to it. But first, I want to just remind everybody a little bit about you. Karen is a storyteller, a dancer, a visual artist, and a legacy member of Storytelling Alberta. She is a descendant of Icelanders and Danes who settled in Alberta between 1889 and 1929. Karen tells myths, sagas, and family stories about the Norse people. She has traveled throughout Canada and to Iceland to tell her tales. Now, before we dive into Karen's story, we just want to acknowledge that Storytelling Alberta operates on the traditional territories of the Indigenous signatories to Treaties 4, 6, 7, and 8. And that includes the Métis settlements and the Métis Nation of Alberta. We make this declaration in a spirit of reconciliation and respect. Please, Karen, take it away. Can't wait for your story.
Thank you. Thank you, Doreen. This story is called How the Huldufolk Came to Be, How the Hidden People Came to Be. And I dedicate it to my mother's mother, Struna Swainson, who was a lover of nature. And you'll see why that's connected in a moment. It happened at the beginning of time that there was only one family. The parents were Adam and Eve, and they began to have children. And their children were astonishingly wonderful and beautiful and talented. And they wished more than anything to share this glory of their offspring with someone. Who better to invite for a visit than God? And so the invitation was extended and it was accepted. But now everything had to be made ready for so reverent a visitor. Beds were made and the tables were laid and there was scrubbing and washing and then the cooking. Over that open fire, they made all that is good. Rollepulse, vinaterta, and skier. For of course, Adam and Eve lived in Iceland, did they not? And then the last job to do was to take the children down into the cellar of their dwelling, for they had a steamy bath that bubbled up from underneath. And one by one, the children were invited to go into this hot pool, and then they were scrubbed and washed and they frolicked in the water for a good time. And then one by one, they were taken out and they were groomed. Their hair was brushed and they were dressed in the finest of homespun clothing their parents could muster. But just when they were in the middle of that job, there came a knock upon the door. The knock was so heavy that they knew it had to be the one they invited. And so they looked at one another, Adam and Eve looked at one another in panic. What will we do? And then they knew. They said, children, hush. Those of you who are dressed and ready, come upstairs with us. The rest of you stay down here and be quiet. And so it is. that half of the children were brought up into the badstofa, into the front room, to sit around the fire and enjoy good food and conversation with God. Now, there was poetry shared, I suppose, and perhaps the odd saga. And good food was tasted and delighted in. Then at last, God said, Adam and Eve, I am proud of you, for you are fine parents. Your children are delightful and intelligent and creative. What a wonderful legacy you have created here. But tell me, I thought you had more children than this. Tell me, are these all of your children? Adam and Eve looked at each other, and then they looked back at God and they said, this is it? Wow, mistake. For God always knows when we tell the truth and when we do not. And there was anger in the room. And God said, Adam and Eve, because you have tried to deceive me today, those children you kept hidden from my view shall remain hidden for now and forevermore. And so it is that we are descended from the children who were brought upstairs. But the ones who were left in the cellar became the Hulderfolk, those hidden people. And I don't know if you know more about them than I do, but I think they have spread themselves about the world. And the Icelanders believe that when they see a grassy knoll on their farm that has been untouched for generations, and they notice a little movement there, they know that that is the place of the Hulderfolk, and they must bring a bowl of sweet, fresh milk daily to garner good relations with the hidden people and bring good luck to their family. If they do anything, bring development or disturb the home of the hidden people, then the family could be cursed. And so it has been a lucky thing where there are small creatures in Iceland, wild things and insects and little ones who like to dwell in those grassy mounds side by side with the hidden people, and their homes have been preserved as a result. So I wondered when I heard that story about the hidden people, those people I longed to come in contact with, if they had come in all the chests and containers that were brought over from, with the early immigrants. Well, my grandmother gave me a story that explains the answer to that question, but I can't give it to you today. My time is up. I just want you to be reassured, as I am, that if we garner good relations with those hidden ones, there will be people who come to help us in our time of greatest need. And I end with an Icelandic ending. Kotor uti imiri, seti up osjastiri, uti æventýri. The cat out in the swamp has lifted its tail, and the adventure is over.
Thank you, Karen. That was delightful, especially your reference to Vinaterta, because I have had the pleasure of having some of your Vinaterta before, and it is pretty amazing, pretty delicious. So thank you for sharing your story with us today. And if you want to reach out to Karen or anyone at Storytelling Alberta, just reach out to us at storytellingalberta@gmail.com. And if you want to see our other around the world stories, then visit our website at storytellingalberta.com. We have many stories to offer you there in celebration of our 40th anniversary. Karen, thank you again Thank you to our listeners, and we'll see you all again next Thursday when we will have another tale to tell.
Thank you, Doreen. It's an honor.